Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Yo Antah Pravishya Mama Vacham Imam Prasuptam सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् समचरणसरोजम् सान्द्रनीलाम्बुदाभम् जघननिहितपाणिम् मण्डनम् मण्डनानाम् तरुणतुलसीमालाम् कन्धरं कञ्जनेत्रं सदयधवलहासं विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि. Pranams to the Lord. Pranams to all the Mahatmas in tonight's Eknathi Bhagawat session. We are doing chapter 10. We have finished first 596 Ovis. We have to start from verse 29 and continue with 597. Karmani dukkhodar kani kurvam karmani dukkhodakarani kurvan dehena taif punaha dehama bhajate tatra kim sukham martya dharminaha. Meaning of the verse: being born in a body commits actions which bring in misery to him, and by those actions he again takes another birth in another body, and thus the man does not get any happiness in this mortal world. OV 597. O Uddhava, please know that Jiva in any body is subject to death. He never gets any happiness. He lives in misery only. 598. People being born in the human race commit many wrong and cruel actions which create a chain of ever increasing pain and sorrow, which are the fruits of those actions. 599. They suffer pain, misery, and tragic condition even up to death, and when they are born again, they commit similar sins by which they are caught in the whirlpool of miserable conditions, being their own destroyers. 600. Further, you should know that those who are averse to surrendering themselves and taking refuge at the feet of the saints will never be happy even in their dream. People who are having many desires are always busy in doing bad deeds, and thus they become more and more miserable. 601. In short, positive commitment of any intentional actions coupled with desire may be, according to the sanctioned procedure or not, they invariably bring in disasters and difficulties. 602. If selfish rituals are performed according to ordained procedure, heavenly pleasures are attained. But eventually, the person who has to fall down on the earth, and if these are performed by disregarding the rules, the man goes to hell. So, man has no real happiness in actions such as rituals, etc. done. 603. You may now guess that 8 regions of the 8 directions may be having permanent happiness because they are supposed to be having no birth or death. And it would suffice for us to be beyond births and deaths. 604. And may think that the positions of these regions are of eternal nature. Regions are eternal, and therefore the happiness in those conditions must also be permanent. But those who imagine like this must be ignorant. Lokana lokapalana madbhayam kalpajivina brahmanopi bhayam mattaha dviparardha parayushaha. Meaning of the verse: the regions of the universe and their rulers who live till the end of Kalpa, long world period, are afraid of me. Even Brahma, who lives for 2 Pararthas is also afraid of me. 605. Indra is the king of all gods, including the sun, moon, Varuna, Kubera, Yama, Marutas, and they all respect him. 606. He enjoys the honor of sitting on the divine throne in the celestial city of Amaravati, riding on an Airavat elephant, and he has the horse Uchchashrava in his service. 607. Urvashi, Rambha, Tilottama, and other divine courtesans are in his service. There are gems, Chintamani strewn at his feet. 608. The 8 occult powers are in his store, and gem-studded palaces are in his possession, and swings of fragrant wood hung by golden chains are decorating all these palaces. 609. There are big trees of Vaidurya jewels, and cows, Kamadhenu, are roaming there in great number. There are many wish trees in that heaven, making a canopy. 610. There are Lokapalas standing with folded hands before him, and the whole army of gods in his military force. This is glory. This is his glory, and he is the monarch of heaven. 611. Even he is eaten up by my power of death as time, by the end of one day of the life of the god Brahma. During one day of Brahma, 14 such Indras come into existence and die. Why talk of all other beings? 612. The lifespan of God Brahma is said to be very long. He lives for 2 Parardha years. But all this boastful long period is praiseworthy only as long as my time, the all-consuming power, has not grasped it. 613. My power grasps and gulps even that Brahma who is worshipped by all, and who is the creator of all Lokapalas, regions like Varuna, Kubera, etc. 614. I am the father of time, whose scepter is feared by all. I am the controller, the Atman, the ruler, the Almighty God, dwelling in the hearts of all creatures, and I am possible to be accosted in my all-pervading power. 615. The people of my time is very dangerous and very fearsome. Dharma, Artha, or Karma cannot avoid the attack of death as time. 616. My great power controls that time, and his power as death. I am the cause of fear in all creatures. How can the Lokpalas like Varuna, etc., find solace? 617. Fearing me, the sun travels in the heavens by digits of minutes and seconds. The life breath functions in the life breath functions in the body of obeying my orders, and the wind also obeys me and blows. 618. By my power, the fire functions in the stomach of every creature and digests variety of food. 619. Fearing me, Indra, the rain god, pours down the rain regularly, and that annihilates according to my schedule. 620. Being afraid of me, the sea does not move beyond its limits. All the 3 worlds tremble, being afraid of me. 621. I am the ruler and the God who controls all the 3 worlds. Saying about all these facts, the Lord defeated all the arguments of atheists and materialists. 622. He has earlier shown us disastrous in this is the belief in ritualistic supremacy in the path of liberation, and he has now shown the unquestionable importance of desirelessness. 623. He has at length shown the nature of his glory and established in his argument that he is the Almighty God. He is continuing his explanation to defeat and disprove the doctrine of philosophers of karma. 624. Those philosophers believe that there are many souls, soul in the actor, the doer, and the receiver of the act, results of action. The Lord is counter-arguing to disprove those beliefs. Please listen. So says Eknath to his audience. Guna srujanti karmani, gunonusrujate gunar, jivastu guna sanyuktaha, bhunte karma phalanyasau. Meaning of the verse. Gunas create the actions, and one guna brings forth other guna. Soul, when attached to these gunas, sattva, etc., receives all the results of actions. 625. The Lord Krishna said to Uddhava, O Uddhava, all the 11 organs have separate functions, while Atman is witness to all. 626. When a lamp is lit in the house, inmates start doing all their duties. The light does not say, do this or don't do this. Similar is the status of Jiva. 6 to 7. You may say, the farmer takes in his hand an axe and cuts down trees. So also Jiva uses organs and does all actions through them. 6 to 8. In this matter, I will say that it is no inspiring factors of organs. I will tell you the real reason. Please listen. 6 to 9. The sattva, etc. modes, facets of nature, are ones which inspire and urge the organs in the body. Jiva is only a witness of both the modes and the organs. 630. The magnet moves the iron piece only by vicinity, not even touching it. Similarly, Jiva is here only a witness. 631. Or, when the sun rises, people begin their routine activities. But the sun is not actual provocator of their actions. He is only the witness, the seer, the observer. 632. Jiva is also not doer of any action. Whatever is curiously seen as taking place or happening is only an illusion. 633. A man having jaundice looks at the moon and says that the moon is yellow. Similarly, they who have no insight and are dull-witted say that Atman or Jiva is the doer because they feel like that. They do not understand Atman is not moving. 634. When clouds appear to be floating speedily across the sky, small children see the moon apparently moving and say, see how the moon is running in the sky. Similarly, ignorant persons say that Atman is the doer. This illusion caused by identification with secondary qualities. 635. There is no idea in the Atman that he's the body and he's the action. It is as of the mirage has drowned in itself the whole kingdom. 636. So, there is no role of a doer to the Atman. You should also understand that the idea that Atman is the enjoyer of the fruits of the action is false. 637. If we collect 1,000 cows in a dream and if we are awake, not a single cow can give us milk in our waking consciousness. Similarly, it is false that Atman takes the fruits of action. It only appears so due to illusion. 638. If the sun whose reflection seems to be in the muddy pond can be said that he is eating mud, then only one may say that it is true that Atman is the receiver of fruits of actions in the town of the body. 639. If the fish in the mirage can eat the moon in it, then only Atman can be said to pluck the fruits of identification with the body. 640. In short, what people say about the Atman being actor and the receiver of the fruit should be known as true in regard to the things with which Atman seems to be united and identified. Thus, it is proved thoroughly that Atman does not do anything, nor does he receive the fruits. 641. Now the Lord disproves the contention of people that jivas are numerous. Yavat syad guna vaishamyam tavan nanatvam atmanaha nanatvam atmano yavat paratantryan tadaivahi. Meaning of the verse. There is multiplicity of jivas so long as there is inequality among the three gunas. And while there is this multiplicity of jivas, the Atman, the jiva, is in bondage. 642. While there is disturbance among the three gunas and their activities, the jiva feels real, the illusory multiplicity of the jivas. 643. So long as the jiva has the notion that he is the proud soul or the body with its organs, etc., he thinks that the variety of souls is real. But oh, Dhava, it is actually unreal. 644. Just as the mirror shows us our own face as a duplicate and creates an illusion that there are two persons, similarly, Maya creates an illusion or duality by the force of ignorance. 645. Though we see our reflection in the mirror, we do not become two people because that is only apparent and not true. 646. When that illusion appears before our consciousness, there is apparent variety through the observer is alone, which is because of the disturbances of the gunas. This apparent variety, though the observer is alone, which is because of the disturbances of the gunas. 647. When we see our reflection in the shining sword, in the mirror, and in the water, all the three reflections are different. One is elongated, the other is fixed, and the third is flickering because of the media. 648. So, because of the effect of various media in which reflections appear, we see our face in three different forms, but it is false. And similarly, the variety seen in the outer world is false, with being caused by the disturbances in gunas. 649. In the cloth, there is thread everywhere, and even there are pleats of the same thread and lines crisscrossed throughout. Similarly, there is only one thing which appears in various shapes in the world. 650. Supposing we mold sugar in the form of the sugar cane, is it necessary to crush it and have juice by throwing away the thick skin and the dry fibers? 651. Similarly, the Paramatman Sri Hari is one without a second, permeating in the whole world, and we see the apparent differences due to the imbalance among the gunas. 652. A mimicry artist takes various roles and makes it appear that they are a different person, but he is alone. 653. Similarly, the God Sri Hari appears to be many beings and forms in the world, but he is only one as the Atman. This is the non-duality in the duality. 654. Question. We agree that Jiva is alone, but we have got a doubt here. 655. You yourself say that Jiva is dependent and not free. But now you say that Jiva as one non-dual entity is independent and free. This is contradiction. How can we say that it is true? 656. You try to prove the non-duality, and earlier you have said that even the Lokapalas, Varun, Kubera, etc. are afraid of you. To this, we cannot agree because where is the scope of fear when everything is one? 657. O Dhava, if this is the doubt, do not allow it to touch your mind. You, 658, see, as soon as there is an experience of duality by identification with the things, there is dependence, and then only the power of God becomes the controller. 659. Though there is a large army, it is not useful unless there is a general in command. Similarly, though mangoes are ripe, we have to take care so that they would not be spoiled. 660. Similarly, so long as the jiva experiences and perceives variety, there is a necessity of God who generates, controls, and destroys, and the jiva is dependent. 661. The dependence is created by the variety, and there is God. And there, God is the controller, and the jiva who thinks that they are different from God, because of the pride of their position, there is fear of God in them. 662. Even the god of death is afraid of me, and even Brahma nurses fear about my punishment. What of gods, including Indra? 663. My power of total annihilation is a cause of concern to all who have concept of duality, because I am the cosmic mind who finishes all the dualities. 664. Please note, therefore, that so long as there is variety in the world and there is unavoidable fear of death, and when this state of multiplicity ends, what can death destroy? There is nothing. 665. In short, the fear of death due to the great power of the Almighty is always hanging on the head of duality and the sense of separateness. So, Uddhava, the jiva is dependent and bound only because of the sense of variety in the world. 666. When there is no other and there is only one total existence, time comes to an end, and then if there is no anybody different or second, there is no fear, no dependence on somebody else, and the state of oneness is itself the bliss. 667. When there is no shade of tinge of duality at all, the seeker looks at the whole world as one, including himself, and he is a single enjoyer of himself in that unity. 668. The seeker then has the great fortune of having the happiness which knows no limit of time or space. 669. However, those who believe in the supremacy of karma become deprived of the great happiness in non-duality and foolishly desire for various higher planes in the heaven. 670. Earlier, the God has referred to the believers in karma and rituals as the greatest way towards happiness, who profess to perform rituals be worthy of best sensual pleasures here and hereafter. 671. Now the Lord continues same argument to convince Uddhava that the way of rituals is not proper and the non-duality the supreme fact. Yavadasya swatantratvam tavadishvarato bhayam yetat samupasiran te muhyam tishu charpitaha. Meaning of the verse. While the jiva is not dependent and free, there is fear of God, and those who follow the path of duality become greatly disturbed, given to sorrow. 672. Know that only those who are having imbalance in the three gunas are attached to the objects of pleasures, etc. And they perform the sacrifices and attain place in heaven where all pleasures are available. 673. But there is surely the fall from that place eventually, and when the ruler of that place is unhappy, knowing that his place and position are also doomed to dissolution. 674. That position ends, that place also gets destroyed, and the enjoyment consumes the objects of pleasure. They become very miserable when they fall down at last. 675. Just as a wounded person suffers acute pain if he is whipped, so the man who loses his heavenly position and falls down, being thrown in the cycle of births and deaths, suffers very much. I think we will stop over here. I tried to cover as much as we could today so that tomorrow, if possible, 80-90 verses will be there which can be covered. Beautiful whole this. It was giving the basis of our entire Vedanta, the thought of Advaita, how we have to do, and the perspective of why I see the world. So the combination of guna, why I see as a sorrow. So it is only at that standpoint we'll experience the sorrow, but otherwise we are full and complete. And the desire is the root cause of all of it, is what Maharaji has said today. And because I have got desires and I see the multiplicity in the world, I am clinging only to sorrow. So some readings were so beautiful. So this was the gist I felt of whatever we read today. In 601 at the starting, that one statement was there. Positive commitment of any intentional actions coupled with desire, maybe according to the sanctioned procedure or not, they invariably bring in disasters and difficulties. So even if we think we are doing dharmic action or whatever, when the desire, it is sprouted through a desire, then it will spell some disaster, difficulty, or sorrow. So the root cause, we'll have to hold on to the desire. Then beautifully he has gone, and one more point I had marked, that we believe that the world is going to give us happiness. So we have the desire, and then we want to achieve various things in the world. So he gave the example that in the dream, if there are 1,000 cows and when you are awake, not one cow can give milk. So when we are sleeping to the highest reality and thinking that this I would get, when we wake up to the reality, then we would feel, oh, how much time I have wasted. So that I felt very beautiful point. And another thing I felt was at 650, like if the one thing is of a sugar, okay, at the sugar you have given a sugar cane shape. Would you crush that sugar and throw the sugar canes, the balance? Everything is sugar. What are you going to throw? Even the dry skin will be sugar only. So when everything is Brahman, so that point, similarly, Paramatman Sri Hari is one without second, permeating in the whole world. Then we see apparent differences due to the imbalance among the gunas. So if I am able to see Ishwaratva in any person I am interacting, any bird, animal, tree, inanimate things, then I'll be in that state of joy only. But because of my vikaras of the gunas, I'm seeing this is mine, this is not mine, this I like, he I don't like, she I like, and interactions. And then we are throwing away, discarding what we don't like. But everything, even if the sugar is given sugarcane shape, color is given green, anything is, but basically it is sugar only. So what are we discarding? So anytime we will discard, we'll be discarding the Lord only, because he is permeating through everything. And that towards the end, those two examples in 666 and 667, I just love both of that. That when there is no other and there is only one total existence, time comes to an end. And then if there is no anybody different from second, there is no fear, no dependence. And in 667, when there is no shade of tinge of duality at all, the seeker looks at the whole world as one, including himself. And he's a single enjoyer. So I felt this 666 and 667 very beautiful. Now let's see tomorrow. Nikhila ji, you said you would be reading, right? So we'll see how the thought progresses. Beautiful thought to hold on. I felt today's reading was like those who have not come today should go back and read and come and mark some points, which is reinforcing how we should be thinking. If anybody has any other thoughts, please share.
Yeah, I like 653 also, Varshaji. Similarly, God Sri Hari appears being many beings and forms in the world, but he is only one as Atman. That from Bhinnatvam to Ekatvam, it brings.
Yes. This is non-duality in the duality. Very beautiful. Thank you, see Lataji. Any other thoughts? No? Okay. So then shall I end the session? Then tomorrow we will join. पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु Hari Om everyone. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Varshaji.